Jenny Screen, what did you think?
It started off really nervous for me, and then they got rolling in the second. I thought the third quarter was really good. They upped the ante a little bit more. Probably Chalk's going to go into the change room not being overly happy, but in the scheme of things, a 20-point win, 20-plus point win is a good one.
He mentioned that in the interview today. He said defence fantastic. We just couldn't manage to get the goals or the baskets when we needed them.
Yeah, well, held them to 22%, so great defensive effort, but, you know, again, just couldn't put the ball on the hole. They did look nervous, there was no doubt about that. The 16,000 people out there, these girls haven't played in front of, you know, these sort of crowds before, and knowing that a great performance in this series could be a foot in the door to actually represent Australia in a year's time for an Olympic Games.
Actually, looking at the highlights now, Tessa Levy, to me, I thought was a standout tonight. She played 32 minutes. She controlled the tempo of the game, and I spoke of it. She has that ability to push hard, but as she's getting older and more experience and more time under Chalk, she's having the ability to read the game a lot better. And I thought she was a really, really good general tonight. What
did you think of New Zealand, Shane, as we watch a bit of the Australian scoring here?
Well, they fought hard. They were always going to be under-talented against a team with a whole lot more depth and quality of the Australians, but you know, they're always going to compete. They made some tough shots. They found a way to be able to stay in there, but just couldn't quite get it done. But again, they'll take a little bit of confidence out of the fact that they won the last quarter. So for them to go home and really trying to make inroads into that will be a boost for them.
What about Susie Bakovic? What an extraordinary performer. Mid-30s now, and she's been around for so long. No sign that she's going to slow down, and had another very good game.
Yeah, she did. Her first green and gold uniform was 2002 at the World Championships, and she's still around, and it's really exciting. It's great for the young girls to get to play with the calibre of her standard. You got Lauren Jackson sitting on the sideline, and also Penny Taylor about to come back in, hopefully for Rio as well.
Yeah, here's Susie. Here's Shane.
Yeah, no, she's a stalwart. We spoke about it during the game. She's passionate. She loves putting on the green and gold. And again, she was a veteran for a very young group here. This is, you know, a great experience for these younger players with, you know, up to 8 of our best players out and playing in America and injured and all the rest of it. So, you know, really good opportunity.
And it doesn't matter the scoreline. Susie will play and play until the final siren goes, and I love that about her.
Yeah, what a great competitor. Kalani Purcell, thoughts?
Well, I don't think we spoke more highly of her. Shane raved about her. I did too, and I think, you know, she'll be signed up very shortly after her years in the USA are finished.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to see her as a junior and watch her play from under 14s, and she's an impressive kid. She's a good girl. She plays hard, works hard, and she's going to have a huge future.
Comes from great pedigree as well. Obviously, her sister plays in the team. Her younger sister is a basketballer, and I'm pretty sure her brother as well is a footballer.
Look, the coach was pretty confident that they could go to New Zealand and get the job done. He said everyone was a little bit overwhelmed by the size of the crowd, and it is a fantastic atmosphere. It is just extraordinary.
Oh, it's phenomenal. I'm envious. I think the boys played here in 2000 against the Dream Team before the Sydney Olympics, but it's great out there. It's so loud, and it would be great for these 19 young kids to actually play.
Well, give us a bit of a snapshot. Obviously, you've played on some of the biggest stages around the world throughout the United States. What's it like out here?
Yeah, no, the atmosphere is amazing, and we don't get an opportunity to be able to do it too much in Australia. But, you know, when they get a chance to go to Rio next year, there'll be big crowds, and, you know, again, it's just another stepping stone for these young kids to be able to get that experience, soak it all in. And we're also passionate about playing for Australia. You can, you know, earn money doing it for a job in other countries, but when you put on the green and gold, it's a special moment.
So a strong win today, but they don't have their boarding passes yet. They've got to go to New Zealand. They've got to win there, or at least, if they do go down with a deficit where their cumulative score's higher.
Yeah, that's correct. And I have no qualms in saying that they'll get the job done, and Shane will back me in that one. And I think it's just a matter of showing up, playing the way that they should, instilling the values and the cultures that they have over the last 2 years, and then the girls, it'll give them another 40 minutes to showcase what they can do for Brendan Joyce. They're also trying for an Olympic spot on this team.
Yeah, what do you think of the next game? They'll be on a plane tomorrow across to New Zealand.
Brendan Joyce will not relax. He's intense. He will build this up that they're going to come back and beat our team over there. So he'll leave no stone unturned, no doubt about that. He's passionate, as we've spoken about through the telecast. And I think we'll go away and they'll win another game. There's no doubt about that. They may not win by the same margin. The atmosphere over there will be intense. The Kiwis love it as well, and they will be ready.
Yeah, Coach Joyce will have them under his thumb. It happens in New Zealand in a few days' time, but of course after the break we're going to preview the Boomers because they take on the Tall Blacks. What an atmosphere, Rod Laver Arena. Channel 9's Wide World of Sports back in a sec.
It's not hard.
Oh, how beautiful is that? The Great Ocean Road, renowned as one of Australia's and the world's best coastal touring routes. Absolutely beautiful. The Great Ocean Road, one of the most visited regions of Victoria, stretching stunning coastline and countryside. I love it. Get down there to Port Fairy as well. Absolutely beautiful. And a great atmosphere. And Shane Heel is joined by his great mate Andrew Gaze. Gentlemen, we've seen the Opals. They've come and they've had a good but not glittering win. The Boomers, they're going to be pushed harder.
Well, we think so. I think that they go into this game as red-hot favourites, but there's enough on this New Zealand team to trouble them. And I think that with our NBA guys coming back, the big question is their cohesion. Are they on the same page? They've had very limited preparation, particularly that man. He's a superstar, Paddy Mills. Love him to death. He's only had a couple of days practice, so it's going to be interesting to see how they work into the rotation. Hammer, do they start him?
I think they have to start him, but there's no doubt that Australia's got so much more talent than New Zealand, but it doesn't just equate. The game's not played on paper, we know that, and New Zealand play very well together. A lot of these guys play together on their club team, and they've got a great history together. They step up when they have to play against the Aussies, and I'm looking forward to this one. It's going to be a beauty.
Matthew Dellavedova grew up in rural Victoria, and he was one of the stars, wasn't he? I know they didn't win the NBA, but that final series, diving Dellavedova, he really caught the imagination of the basketballing public of the US.
And there he is, diving in the right sense, that he was diving on loose balls, not diving like we've seen in some other codes where he's trying to fake for freeze. But what he does is he plays with a lot of heart and energy, and he was questioned whether or not he crossed the line throughout that NBA series, but that's how he survived in the NBA. That's how he made the NBA, is because he brings some great leadership, some tremendous skills, but he's not a gifted athlete, but he gets away with a lot because of his hustle and determination.
I have never seen a player or played with a player that plays every possession as hard as Matthew Dellavedova. I mean, he's a great role model for kids growing up to say that he went to college, he didn't get drafted, he persisted, he stayed there, he carved out a role, all based on good Aussie spirit.
Oh, he's great to watch, isn't he? Matthew Dellavedova. Well, there's another guy, of course, who plays in the NBA. We've got a number of players, Australians, that play in the NBA. His name is Joe Engels, and he is with Bill Baxter.
And it's great to see him. First off, congratulations on the new 2-year deal, mate. That's fantastic.
Yeah, thanks. It's something I wanted to happen from the start. Really didn't want to leave Utah, and very glad it's all worked out. And head back in a few weeks and get started for another pretty exciting season with the group we've got.
Well, that means it's probably your shout if we're going for a drink afterwards. What do you think of this game that's going to be here tonight? First off, the Boomers.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like the guys have been saying, with the guys that have come back this year, throwing Bogut into that group. Cam Glynn's getting his chance. There's a few guys that have been around. So really exciting Boomers group. Really want to get out there and push it down the floor. I wish I could get out there, but yeah, just really excited to watch the game. I think they're, like Hammer said, obviously favourites on paper, but New Zealand never back down, so it's going to be a battle.
I know being this close to the Tall Blacks, you were really keen to give them a little bit of a word, but you held it back.
Yeah, I did. I have to. I probably can't do that in a suit, but yeah, next year will be a different story.
What do you make of them? You've played against a few of them before.
Yeah, I mean, I think Mick is probably the heart and soul of that team. Obviously, what Corey Webster's been doing, Fotu's come out of kind of come out of nowhere, really. He's a really exciting big, can shoot it, take it off the dribble. But yeah, between him and Webster, it's going to be the two really to concentrate on with Mika crashing those boards.
You could maybe rock that hair one day. You could get you some merchandise and money or something like that.
Absolutely. My receding hairline is horrible. I'm nowhere near that.
You mentioned Mika Vakona before, and well, you've been up against him in an Oceania Championship, and he's beaten you almost single-handedly before. What about him and the leadership that he brings and how he can play? Yeah,
I think he's their kind of most dangerous player, really. His rebounding, his aggressiveness, it's just something that he does on an every night basis. He does it for the breakers, and he comes here and does it here. So, yeah, definitely a difficult player to guard the way he plays, and can be a huge difference maker, as we found out in 2009.
It's probably sacrilege to talk about another game while the basketball game's on, but you've been seeing a lot of netball. Your fiancée Renee Hallinan tearing it up for the Diamonds.
Yeah, she's playing great. The team's obviously playing great too. They had one unlucky loss to New Zealand, and yeah, won their semi-final against Jamaica today, so a big game tomorrow. So I'll head back there in the morning and watch that.
Great to see you, Joe. Congratulations, mate. Thanks. Back up to you, Tim.
Thanks, Bill. Joe Ingles, of course, another one that will come into this side at some point. So, look, they've got to get to Rio. They've got to get these two games out of the way and do it well. But how good could we be in Rio?
Oh, we could be fantastic. I think when you look at some of the players not available here for this series, but you know, you got to get there, and it'd be a real bad mistake if they look too far ahead, because this New Zealand team's got some firepower. Corey Webster, he's just never seen a shot he doesn't like, and you look. Knock down the three-point shot, so there's a lot in this New Zealand team to be careful about.
Well, we saw how good they were at the Stankovic Cup, didn't we, Shane?
Oh, no doubt. And I've coached a couple of these guys with Corey Webster and Lindsay Tate, and they're fighters. They really go after it, and you see that. Corey Webster had 32 points in that final when they beat Mexico in the Stankovic Cup. He is world class about putting the ball in the hole. There's no doubt about that, and he's going to be the focal point for the Australian defence.
And let's not forget about Thomas Abercrombie too. Great work he's done for the Breakers over the years. He's just an athletic freak, and he can put up some big numbers as well.
Yeah, OK, let's have a look at some of the highlights of Australia's clash with Slovenia, because it was an interesting one.
It was, and Ryan Brockhoff, he's a superstar. He's one that can come out off his own bat, can drop 25, as can that guy, Chris Goulding, back in the NBL this season, which is fantastic, playing in Melbourne. And this was one of those games where I think, this series, this two-game series, where they showed that they I think that's just about getting a feel for it.
Talent that they have, but again, as far as being together and being able to have their systems down pat, they're probably a little bit behind New Zealand.
It's going to be a setback not having Damien Martin in this game. I mean, think of Corey Webster and what he's capable of doing. Damien Martin, just a supreme defender, and him not being available is a setback.
Well, I think Ryan Brockhoff's the one. I think he's the one to defend Corey Webster just because of his length. He's about 6'7", but his arms go forever.
Surely Matty Dellavedova gets that first crack at him.
I think they've got to mix it up. I think Dellavedova is so good at being able to hustle and deny him getting catches, but where I think Brockhoff's going to be able to get in his head a little bit to be able to shoot against somebody where he thinks he might get blocked.
I like another one missing, Dante.
Dante, well, isn't that a real sad story? A great rookie season, and here he is. And this is what a real innocuous type situation. Just lands on 2 feet, and clearly you see that the knee gives away, and it's painful just to watch that. And he did his ACL. He's going to be out for 12 months. He's lucky that he's a young man who's got a very bright future, and this is a setback, but there's no doubt he'll bounce back, and he's hoping that maybe next year at the Olympics that'll be his return to basketball.
Oh, fingers crossed he does what Rachel Jarry has, and you know, he's got to have persistence and stay positive because he's got the world ahead of him.
Yeah, Dante Exum, an extraordinary talent. All right, Billy Baxter caught up with a few of the boomers ahead of this big one.
You know, you can't imagine the feeling it is to be able to chuck on the green and gold and represent your country. And the thing I come back to is not only that, but the people that you get to do it with, I think just makes that even more sweeter. So knowing since 2006 how much I've given to this team, you know, it's always obviously a special place in your heart and means a lot to the broader Australian community. And that's who you play for. You play for your teammates, you play for your country, and you go out there and play as hard as you can.
He's going to be playing in front of family and friends in this game?
Yeah, my friends, obviously I've got friends here. I've lived in Melbourne for the past 3 years, and my family's coming down from Brisbane, so my mum, my dad, my sister, and obviously my girlfriend will be there as well, so pretty exciting.
When the Australian anthem is playing and all the boys are, you know, locked in arms and singing it out together, it's a pretty special moment, and yeah, getting goosebumps just talking about it now, so I can't imagine what it's going to be like at Rod Laver when 15,000 are there belting it out.
It's hard not to dream. I've dreamt of sort of playing in the Olympics, playing for Australia since I was a young boy, so now that it's only sort of a year away, hopefully I continue development, stay healthy, and see what happens next year. Try not to think that I'm in the team, try not to think I'm out. I just want to prove myself and prove to the coaches what I can bring, and hopefully keep developing over the next 12 months.
I first went to a Boomers game in 1988 in Adelaide. I think Australia were playing against the Soviet Union, back with Andrew Gayers, Darryl Pearce, a bunch of guys, and I was in the cheer squad. I think I've still got the t-shirt, it's about this big. Might fit my daughter now, but that's when I kind of first dreamed to play for Australia, and growing up watching the Olympics, that was the big thing that drove me, and probably about 96 was the first time I really felt that's what I wanted to do.
Well, they're all fired up. We're not far away from the national anthem. We're going to see the Haka as well. It is the Boomers versus the Tall Blacks. Game one of a Game 2 series, of course. The winner of these two, well, when you put these scores together, whoever is in front is on the plane to Rio. We'll be back in just a tick.
Ladies and gentlemen, come all the way from New Zealand for the Oceania Championship. To give a warm welcome to New Zealand All Blacks, number 0, Shea Gilly. Number 1, Ruby Saroni. Number 4, Lindsay Tate. Number 5, Everard Bartlett. Number 6, Jared Kenny. Number 7, Mika Mukona. Number 9, Corey Webster. Number 10, Thomas Abercrombie. Number 11, Ty Wynyard. Number 12, Isaac Footwick. Number 13, Dion Twister. Number 14, Robert Laurie.
Great to have your company, Channel 9's Wide World of Sports, and we're having a night at the basketball tonight, Rod Laver Arena. Now, the Boomers are just about to be introduced here. What's it like? Can you tell us, as we see these guys come out, give us your explanation of what it was like to be introduced in a game like this?
Yeah, well, I mean, it means everything, because most of us grow up dreaming of being able to represent your country, and you finally get there, you hear the national anthem, and as Matthew Dellavedova said in that last highlight package, you embrace each other, and it's just a great feeling.
And there's a uniqueness to tonight, isn't there? Because they play in big crowds for their teams, a lot of these guys when they're over in the US, but not back here.
No, they don't. That's why it's special for them. And you see the atmosphere and the Australian public, as you see Paddy Mills, they love him. The opportunity to be able to see 8 guys that are in the NBA, these guys coming back. Andrew Bogut, there you go, grew up in Melbourne, so many fans. And I know people that have come from all over the country and paid
big assignment tonight.
Yeah, big assignment. Ken Bairstow, another NBA guy there with the Chicago Bulls. So there's so much talent. Brock Modem, who's just signed a big contract in Lithuania, and Nathan Jawai, who's been overseas for a long time. Outback Shaq is what they call him. He's a huge man. And it is going to be a challenge for the Boomers tonight. They certainly will respect their opposition tonight. Certainly more talent, but they know the camaraderie, and they won't be. They're not going over there, New Zealand. They're not looking up the other end and going, "Oh, we can't beat these guys." They believe. So it's going to be a battle out there.
Yeah, they're a very proud nation, and they've won the Bledisloe Cup today. We've got the netball final tomorrow, and we saw the Opals beat the tall Ferns early. Let's get down courtside because we're ready for the national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be outstanding now for the national anthems of New Zealand and Australia, performed by Eddie William Sigali and Kane Breen, supported by the Q Band and conducted by Andrew Smith.
A stirring rendition of the New Zealand anthem. What a wonderful anthem it is, and these guys will be feeling it. Standing by for the Australian national anthem right now.
We go
The Australian Boomers, the national anthem. Some great basketballers there, and of course we saw Luke Longley looking fit. Luke, he looks like he could back play again himself. But it's the Boomers and the Tall Blacks tonight, Rod Laver Arena, and as is ritual at New Zealand sporting occasions, we are going to see the Haka, and the Australians are getting themselves in position to look at the Tall Blacks rendition. Let's have a look at it. The Haka here at Rod Laver Arena by the Tall Blacks of New Zealand. They're just getting ready, limbering up, working out everyone's roles. The entire coaching staff, they're going to get the photo for Australia here before we move into the Haka. And someone didn't smile, so they're going to go back and do it again. Getting a few of the sponsors involved, which is very, very important. Huge crowd. Great to have your company on Nine's Wide World of Sports tonight. We saw the Opals beat the Tall Ferns. They have a return game in New Zealand. And of course, this is the first of two games for Australia and New Zealand in the men's, and it is a cumulative total for these two matches to see who will be off to Rio at the Olympic Games. The Australians link arms. The Tall Blacks prepare for the Haka. We had a false start before with the cameras clicking, but we're going to get ready to go in just a tick. Everyone loves this. Contact, stony face, these men representing their country for a chance to be in Rio at the Olympic Games. Here's the Australians' response. Fantastic sounds of the didgeridoo, and performing it tonight, a man that carries the very famous name of Namajira. What a way to start us off. We've had the national anthems, we've had the Haka, we've had the didgeridoo. An extraordinary contest we're about to watch here. They're very, very good, the Tall Blacks. Of course, Australia has all these NBA stars. They need to, after the game during the week in New Zealand, be enough ahead of New Zealand They needed one ahead, really, to make it to Rio, and that is the Olympic Games. The Olympic qualifiers, we know that the Opals, well, they're off to a cracking start against the tall Ferns, and they're in the box seat when they play them in New Zealand. They all travel across tomorrow. It is a Tuesday game for the Tall Blacks and Boomers in Wellington, and the Tall Ferns and the Opals play on Monday. So they're warm. All the action, John Casey.
Fans in the house, buckle up Australia. This is going to be outstanding. The Australian team alone, $100 million plus worth of talent. And the Kiwis, well, they're in great form. They've just won the Stankovic Cup and they are operating very smoothly at the moment. A big shock in terms of the starting fives already for Australia. We'll take a look at how they're going to line up. And it's interesting that Paddy Mills starts off the bench, an NBA champion coming off the bench. There's the depth of Australia for you. And running the point will be Matthew Dellavedova. His partner in the backcourt is the Melbourne boy, Chris Bubbles Golding. Brokov, who was a Turkish all-star with Besiktas last season and maybe heading to the NBA in the three. Cambersto from the Chicago Bulls, and Andrew Bogut, the Golden State Warriors championship winner, playing his first game in Melbourne for summer, 8 years in front of his home faithful. And the Kiwis, well, as I say, don't underestimate the Kiwis. Jared Kenny, Mika Vakona, the long-serving captain of the team. Corey Webster is a scoring machine, averaged 14 points a game at the World Championships last year with a high of 26 against Lithuania. If you're in the mid-20s at a World Cup, you know you're a strong player. And Isaac Fotu, perhaps, is the most exciting commodity they have. He's going to jump out of the stadium, judging on what he was throwing down in the warm-ups. And Tom Abercrombie, four-time NBL champion as well with the New Zealand Breakers. They're loaded with talent. I'm loaded with talent alongside me here with Andrew Gaze and Shane Hill. And Andrew, that Haka, you would have faced that. Tell me what that feels like when they're right in your dial.
I've never thrown a punch in anger, but I wanted to get out there and support our boys because right up nice and close. It was fantastic to see our boys linked arm in arm. And I don't know if there's a better tradition than the Haka in the world. It was fantastic, stirring stuff. And I think it's really set a tone. And they did make a point to focusing on Matty Dellavedova. We know he's been somewhat controversial with the way he played in the finals of the NBA. They targeted him, and he certainly didn't back down, Hammer.
You are ready to go, Andrew Gaze, and no wonder why. 16,000 people, and no better feeling than playing against New Zealand.
Exactly. The thing that really did surprise me, and we spoke about it upstairs, is that Paddy Mills coming off the bench, and I think that's more to do with the preparation than it is to do with his ability right now. Only had a couple of days with the squad and need to work him into the rotation. Probably not au fait with all the little wrinkles, both offensively and defensively.
There is also a school of thought that his minutes are being limited by his employers, the San Antonio Spurs.
No, I don't think so.
This is the rumour that is circulating. It's good that we've got you on board, having played with the Spurs, to maybe put that to rest. But that is a suggestion that's being circulated.
Well, I spoke to Paddy about that, and he said, no, he comes with his absolute, their blessing. No limitation in this particular series, so I don't know where that's come, where you're getting your mail from, John Casey.
I can't divulge my sources. We're just happy that Paddy's in the lineup, and 4 of the starting 5 are in Victoria. As a former Victorian of the Year, Andrew Gaze.
Great to see.
We're pretty happy about that.
It's fantastic. Right now, we don't care where they come from. They got the green and gold on.
We are set to go in the biggest basketball game in Australia in 15 years. Since the Sydney Olympics, we haven't been this amped. And the Australians, well, they are favourites, but don't underestimate the Tall Blacks from across the ditch. We are set to go. Andrew Bogut. Watch Isaac Fotu leap into the air. He is an exciting commodity. Bogut wins the tap, but it's claimed by Vakona. And it's Kenny with the ball. Here's Webster, the danger man. Works to an opening. Zigzag. Pullback, fires, caught it short. Vakona had a piece of it, can't control it. Ryan Brokhoff streaks up the floor, confronted by Abercrombie. Screen from Bairstow. Bogut joins in. heading for Golding. Retreats to Bairstow, top of the key. Guarded by Vicona. Here's Golding. Can get the hot hand. Bogut. Shot clock to 10. The big man fires. Can't convert. Bairstow trying to keep it alive.
What a way that would have been on his return back to Melbourne.
Well, I know that the international three-point line is slightly closer than the NBA one, but even that you could probably put down a little bit of a blood rush by the big fella, perhaps getting caught up in the emotion of it all.
Well, it got late in the shot clock, so he probably didn't have a whole lot of choice, but probably not the option they were looking for to be able to start the game.
I'm pretty sure when Andre Lamanis drew up the first play, it wasn't Bogut for a three.
First foul of the game called on Matty Dellavedova, our referee. Steve Siebel from Canada, Tim Brown from New Zealand, and Michael Aylen is the Australian rep. Here's Dellavedova. Now, Brockhoff was just held out of that there, so Dellavedova goes coast to coast, solo, comes up with the opening score.
And no substitute for a bit of experience there, and the way in which he didn't explode to the basket, used his bodies well, kissed it off the glass nicely. Good start by Dellavedova.
Fotu gets it from Vicona. Wanted Webster. Denied that by Dellavedova's good D. It's a great matchup for Australia. Dellavedova against the danger man. This is Kenny behind the back. Golding on the retreat. Spinning, wheeling and dealing the left hand. Oh, that's pretty to watch.
He's an experienced player. He's a very good player in the NBL in New Zealand. Good point guard. Not somebody who's going to go out and get 25 tonight, but he will certainly steer them in the right direction.
I tell you what, early on the execution too, it's surgical precision, the way the New Zealand go about it in the half court.
Single numbers on the shot clock. Bogut from close range. The hook shot won't tumble. Bogut the rebound off to Kenny.
Bogut might take a little bit of time. He hasn't trained a lot over the last 3 or 4 days, so that's where you lose your touch a little bit down low.
You see both teams running exactly the same offense.
Rebound, grabbed by Dellavedova, doing it at both ends of the floor at the moment. Brockhoff, arguably the most improved player in the Australian lineup in the last 18 months. Here's Dellavedova going to work. Can't complete it. Fotu upstairs with the rebound.
Great pass by Bogut out of the post to find the open Matthew Dellavedova.
It's underrated too, that skill. It seems pretty basic, but the pass out, Bogut with his size is very good at it.
Vicona invited to take the shot. He puts a lid on two. Kiwis in front.
He's capable of hitting that, as we saw then. He's a consistent guy around the elbows. Can't get out to the three-point line. Playing against Bogut in the post for Mika Vicona.
Severely undersized there. Here's Dellavedova wanting Bairstow, wrestling with Vicona down low. Foul's going to be called on the New Zealand captain. Second team foul on New Zealand.
And they're the fouls that he cannot have. Mika Vicona is too valuable, and you see him there out of frustration.
And that's a poor call right there. There's nothing in that, and they call that little touchy foul. Really not necessary.
Golding got it from Bairstow. Single numbers on the shot clock for the Boomers. It's Bairstow taking on Vicona, exploiting his edge in high, all the way, all the bottom of the net.
Bairstow down low. Didn't get a lot of opportunities this year playing with the Chicago Bulls, but you see the touch that he's got around the basket down low.
Feeling out process here. 3 and a bit minutes played. Webster puts the shoulder into Dellavedova.
Webster has taken
enterprising start from the Tall Blacks. Bogut left it for Golding. Single numbers on the shot clock again. Just a little out of sync here at the moment, the Boomers. And Dellavedova goes solo, and it was a good option.
I love it when Matthew Dellavedova is aggressive to the basket. I felt at the World Championships last year, he wasn't doing that as much, and then he couldn't get into the game with his assists.
Similar at the London Olympics as well. Going to work Webster initially, and the clean-up too, and a chance at a three-point play here for the Tall Blacks.
That's the beauty of having a rim protector like Andrew Bogut. Here we see down low Cam Bairstow. That's a nice touch move when he steps away. Good defense initially by Dellavedova, and there's the pass we were talking about, the cross court. Good vision by Webster. Paddy Mills enters the game for the first time down the other end. Matty Dellavedova, a lot of the times he's making that penetration for the pass, and he teamed up so well with Aaron Baines where he'd throw that little alley-oop. He's got some weapons around him here tonight that he can do the same, but that time was just parting of the Red Sea, and he goes all the way to the cup.
No mistake from the free throw line for Vicona. Extends the lead to 4-point edge in favour of New Zealand. Bookmakers were offering a 20-point start, which seems way out of the realms of where it should have been. Here's Mills. Dumps the ball down low. Anderson. The well-travelled David Anderson spinning, wheeling and dealing. Can't complete it. Abercrombie snatches the rebound. Lindsay Tate quickly up the floor, confronted by Mills. Fotu gets Bogut out of the paint. Vicona. Guarded by Anderson. Hands over. Abercrombie lost the handle on it. Under pressure. Shot clock down to 7. Vicona. Skip pass. Fotu has to go up. It's Webster. He fires. Caught it a little deep. Kept alive by Vicona. Now the shot clock went off inadvertently. They kept playing. It was a good option. The 3-ball tuffles for New Zealand, and Andre Lemanis wants timeout. We've played almost 5 minutes here in the opening quarter, and the Kiwis are making a statement. They lead it by 7. It's New Zealand 13, Australia 6 here on the Wide World of Sports.
Come up with it before we get running. Make sure we're aware where Corey Webster is, particularly on an offensive rebound. Offensively, a couple of things, all right? We can't be shooting fadeaway jumpers early, all right? I like establishing the post, get our cut, get the pull over, get the down screen, continue to get stuff going at the basket, okay? With the reversal post, they're switching the back cut to a handoff action, so some more downs and some more handoffs to the gets action. Okay? More handoffs to the gets action. There's one here, come down, run secondary flex.
Just a steadying time out there for Andre Lemanis. As we've seen early on, a lot of low post entries and just making a point to David Anderson. He doesn't want that fadeaway down low. Big size advantage and really not taking advantage of it. But the encouraging fact, Hammer, is that they are getting the ball inside, and you'd think that throughout the course of the game that would work to their advantage.
Yeah, I'd like to see them get into some more pick and rolls now, start moving the ball. They've got shooters in the corners. Get the other team, get the Kiwis into rotations and see where they can take advantage.
Adam Gibson, the Adelaide 36ers captain, into the action. Feeds Mills, goes to work, can't complete it. Aussies none of 3 from long range. And Lindsay Tate brings New Zealand back up the floor.
Almost identical sets by both these teams. Either end, similar principles, slightly different points of emphasis, but their offensive sets are very, very similar.
Webster found some space, can't complete it. Brockhoff jumps upstairs to grab the rebound.
Webster and Mills have 2 of the prettiest jump shots you will ever see.
Gibson, left alone from the elbow, drills his first points in the game.
Easy as you like, not showing Gibson the respect that he deserves. He's all right from that mid-range, and that's a shot you don't see a lot in the Boomers. They're usually on the rim or 3-pointers. Almost next to no mid-range that they have on their offensive sets.
Well, it's part of their philosophy. They don't necessarily want to shoot 2s.
Lindsay Tate, shot clock to single numbers, low beyond his range, elects to take Bogut on. It was a bad option. Bogut out-muscled it, feeds Mills. Gibson ahead of him, Anderson joining in with Brockhoff. Tate giving Mills plenty to think about. He enjoys the challenge though. Now Bogut on Gibson, was denied that initially, and the shot clock rolls to 10. Mills at half court, guarded by Tate. Now goes to work, elevates and completes it.
That is just a gorgeous, gorgeous shooting technique. Comes off and explodes. The little fella can get his shot off so quickly and with just such exceptional touch.
Here's Webster feeding low, pulls the trigger on the 3, caught it deep, loose ball. Abercrombie tried to get a piece of the action. Brockhoff did enough to work at the Mills. Wants Bogut down low, goes back to Mills, running out of real estate. Now Gibson. Brock made him about to check in for the Boomers, and again Mills at half court and the shot clock at single numbers. In a mismatch here against Lowe, looking a little nervous. Mills pulls up for the three. Caught it deep. Anderson the rebound. They reset. Mills and Bogan. Oh, and Isaac Fotu said not in this house.
This is a battle. But have a look at this. Paddy Mills gets a little push off on the Lindsay take, creates some space, step back going right, nothing but net.
And already Paddy Mills has taken 4 field goal attempts. He's not going to be shy out there, nor should he. Boomers really needing some offense.
Coming from you, that's saying something.
It's Mills again. Anderson rolling to the hoop, takes the bump from Lowe, who did a good job to protect the rim. The Boomers come up empty. The Kiwis lead it by 3. 2.5 minutes left, term number 1. Just joined us, the Opals defeated the Tall Ferns 61-41 to go 1 up in their 2-game series. Shot clock to single numbers. Bartlett, the left-handed, can't connect. Brockhoff with the rebound. His 3rd in that category. Only Fotu with 4 has more in the game. This is Gibson. Now Mills against Abercrombie. Works to the baseline. Double team needs help. Anderson scoops up the slow pass. Has good range, and there's the evidence.
And you know, he's more comfortable facing the basket than he is down low with his back to the basket. And they can't allow him to take that shot. He's from there and from the 3-point range. He can knock them down.
Australia has scored the last 6 points here. They've reeled in the 7-point edge to make it a 1-point ball game. Single numbers on the shot clock. They invite Lindsay Tate to take the shot, and I reckon they'll invite him again, judging on that.
Yeah, well, that's certainly not his game, especially if he has to think about it as Paddy Mills. Not quite.
Tate pushes back the other way. Fotu. The ball for Bartlett. Well, this is Australia versus New Zealand, isn't it?
That's what we like to see. A little bit of passion, boys. So we see Dave Anderson with the pick and pop. That's just a fake. He was never going to pass that. He was going up for his long 2. He's done it forever in Europe and now showing it in the green and gold.
And you know, this is what New Zealand doesn't want. They want to keep the crowd. They should be trying to keep the crowd out of this as much as they possibly can. Take the emotion out of the game, because right now the tempo's been very much in their favour. It's their style. It's more of a half-court game than an up-and-down game. And that's what New Zealand be looking for, at trying to sneak a win, or at the very least a close loss on the road.
100%.
Julia Motum into the game. So no starters on the floor for Australia at the moment. Shot clock to single numbers. Here's Anderson, got low in the air. Now the step back on the baseline is off the money. Everard Bartlett the rebound. Quick outlet pass. Rowe working the floor hard. Draws a foul on Anderson. Chance at a 3-point play.
Well, that's poor defensive transition by the Boomers. When Dave Anderson shot the ball at the baseline, and he's the first one back to be able to stop the layup, just not good enough. The opposite guard should have been at the half court.
Having said that, it was a hell of a pass and great run by the big fella Lowe. He played 4 years at the University of St. Louis and currently playing in Europe, so he's won the 7-footer, but as we saw early on with our 7-footer Andrew Bogut taking a 3, and that's highly unusual, but not for Lowe. He's got that range.
Adam Gibson hands over. Mills, quick release, catch and shoot, is deep on it. Bartlett snatches the rebound. Mills now 1 of 6 from the field, including none of 4 from long range.
And that's what you were saying, Drew. He's going to be a little bit rusty. He hasn't had a lot of training sessions with the team, just come back from the States.
Kenny down low. Vicona against Motum. They moved it sweetly. Found Bartlett alive. Can't convert. Motum the rebound. To Adam Gibson. Last play of the first quarter. They need to get it up. It's Mills again, and he didn't get enough separation. Shut down by Jared Kenny. And first quarter honours are with the New Zealand Tall Blacks. At the end of one from Rod Laver Arena, it's New Zealand 16, Australia 12 here on Nine's Wide World of Sports.
Weekend away in a regional Victoria Airbnb. So folks, if the camera comes to you, it's time to give a little bit of love.
Coming around, buddy.
National Football now with the start of the match in Delaware Center. Emma.
Congratulations, you are our winners. Let's rescue us away. One of our team members will come and collect you and take you to your new seats. Thank you very much for being involved. Yeah, that's it. You're coming up. And thank you very much to Airbnb.
Nice work against that family. Airbnb bringing it down topside. Nice to see the Matthew Dellavedova jersey out there. Few NBA jerseys.
Welcome back to Rod Laver Arena. The New Zealand Tall Blacks with a 4-point edge here at the end of one. We'll take a look at some of the stats. The rebound count, very interesting, 11 apiece. The turnover count, not one turnover in the game so far. But none of 6 from long range for the Australians, Andrew Gage.
No, pretty even. Neither team really getting hold of it on the offensive end. You can see the defensive struggles that's been going on out there. New Zealand with a couple of assists. A lot of the Australian offense coming off the dribble as well. But, yeah, I think these two teams just feeling themselves out. And a lot of AFL superstars in attendance.
Rory Sloane.
Rory Sloane.
And the Adelaide Crows had a big win here in Adelaide today. They were very powerful. And we've got Josh Jenkins in the front row as well. And we've got Joe Ingles from the Utah Jazz joining us in commentary. Joey, great to have you on board as well. How do you see the Boomers' performance so far?
Yeah, not bad. Obviously a little shaky at the start there. Missed a couple of shots. All pretty good looks, I think. That man will get going pretty quickly, so yeah, pretty happy with the start.
He hasn't been around long, only had a couple of days practice session, but he's stamping himself. He's 2 of 7, not shy out there, and I like it though. You got to let him do his thing because right now it's hard to cut. Points are hard to come by, and he can get it done off his own hand.
Yeah, he can. I think, and most of those shots were good shots. I mean, we want him taking those shots. He had a couple of buzzer beaters, but yeah, New Zealand are making some shots at the moment. That's probably the only thing keeping him in the game.
And that's the beauty of having a big fella, 7-footer low, steps out and knocks down a 3. Makes it hard for Nathan Dry in the rotation, and Mills yet again. He's starting to heat up. Stay tuned. My goodness, when he gets in this frame of mind,
yeah, it's nice.
Every single time he touches the ball, he's going to be looking for it. You'd suspect that Andre Lamanis, they'll be calling his number as well, wouldn't you, Joe?
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, he has only been there a couple of days, but we know what the influence we can have pretty quickly on the team. So it's, he's a big part of our group, and he's been in the system for a while, so it's not like he's new to it.
This is what he's come out in this start of the second quarter. He's come out, it's that mid-range. Nathan Dwight, good look. He can't get that open. Little screen on the weak side. Gets caught way out.
Dellavedova back into the game. Adam Gibson sits down. Nate Jawai's had an impact already. Here's Mills again, firing. 3 of 3 in the first 90 seconds here at term number. Here, term number 2, New Zealand led it by a point. We'll try and get into the huddle there with Andre Lamanis if we can.
Jared Kenny out the top here, pushing to the screen rather than icing that and letting Rob Lowe be a pick and pop guy. Jared Kenny pushing to the screen and just go under and meet him on the other side. All right, we're good. Be aware with Rob Lowe, he's a pick and pop guy. Yeah, so if you get stretched, just hustle it and call out the switch. All right? So make him bounce it, okay? Offensively, again, they're switching our back cuts on the weak side. So, yeah, wait in the corner, okay? And we get some just straight handoff downstream shell cut actions. We're in gold here. We're in gold back and forth. 1, 2, 3.
Well, the second quarter's all been one man so far, Andrew Gaze.
He's beautiful to watch, and that's picture-perfect technique for the young fellas out there or girls looking to know how to shoot the ball. Just get a slow-mo version of that, and you're not going to go too far wrong. But in that timeout, they're talking about their goal defense, Joe Ingles. What does that mean?
I think that's picking it up here. As you'll see, I think they'll get a bit more aggressive. I think when we can get into them and turn it up a little bit, I think it'll get some balls loose and we can get out and run. So when we're playing faster, I think it's a pretty good speed for this group that's out there now.
Here's Fotu playing in the 5 at the moment as the Kiwis go a little smaller. Dellavedova, Mills, Newley with a new haircut as well. Jawai giving Vicona a facial with the back of his arm.
Look out.
Knocking down almost Kenny as well. And busted play. Can't convert Newley. Outback shot. Had it. Got it. Stuffed it in the hole.
What we like to see. Big fella's back. He hasn't been there for a while. He's coming back off an injury, and it's great to see what he's doing. He's worked extremely hard.
Australia back in front for the first time since the first shot of the game. Fotu measures the shot, can't convert, and there's the presence of Vicona. He is such a warrior. Again, another look, can't convert. Here's Mills, Newley in support. Jawai joining in, standby. A little bit of showtime. It didn't come off, but let's not discourage that.
No, we shouldn't. Here's Paddy Mills here. Beautiful pass. And look at the work of Jawai. And really got to do a better job on the offensive glass, because when the big fella gets that close to the basket, he's going to stuff it in the rim. Oh, nice. I reckon the big fella running the transition. And then I think this is what we're talking about, the gold. We've got a 2-2-1 extended full court press. It's somewhat of a conservative press, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think they'll be too aggressive. They'll obviously try and waste a bit of shot clock and hopefully make them shoot a tough shot at the end of it. So I don't think they'll be pulling out all the tricks just yet. So it's nice to see him up the floor, and I think it's helped him to get back in this game.
Fotu, single numbers on the shot clock, lost the handle, spills to Mills. He's omnipresent at the moment. Wants Newley. Jawai, top of the key. Down to Mills. They left him alone. Can't convert. First miss of the second quarter.
How does he get that open, though, when the man's wide hot in this second quarter? That'll be a concern. He's getting those sort of looks.
Webster, overdue, comes up with a finish. Just 1 of 6 prior to that one tumbler.
Anytime Webster or Mills is coming off screens, the guys, the big fellas, have got to show. And
you've got to be right up there. I think it's they're probably the two most aggressive and probably best scorers out in the court. So yeah, I'd be getting right up on that and making him pass it. I think he wants to shoot, he wants to score, which is what he's good at. But
Modem from close range had 3 on the shot clock, couldn't get a connection. Lindsay Tate now slows it down. Almost 4 minutes played here. Second quarter action. Seesawing affair with New Zealand back in front by a point. Fotu against Modem. Good battle. Single numbers on the shot clock. Abercrombie off the curl cut. Did well over the outstretched arm of Nate Jawai. Draws a foul in the process.
We're talking a little bit earlier about the pick and rolls and when you've got these explosive shooters, but there's Thomas Abercrombie slashing down the middle and a great pass. But here it is, see the screen there. Jawai's got to step up and make sure that he closes out. And as you said, Joe, just get the ball out of his hands, make someone else beat you.
Yeah, definitely. I think, like I said, with him and Mills are probably the most aggressive out there. So I think you want those other guys beating you. If you can make Lindsay and Mika shoot the ball, it's a bit of a better option than Webster coming off jacking.
I love the execution of the New Zealand team. I think they've played about 6 or 7 games leading up to this one. You can just see how cohesive they are. They've established their roles, and this is probably their biggest advantage, is the time that they've spent together.
Yeah, and I think over the years too, they've been together for a long time. They've had 1 or 2 pieces here and there, but that core group has been together for a long time. So it's showing right now.
They were 5-2 in preparation for this one, the Stankovic Cup. Vicona doing a good job there again. Brock Modem.
Referees coming together. Little concern with the shot clock. Brock Modem. Good news for him. I heard the boys talking before the start of the game, and I believe that he might have signed a deal in Lithuania. So he was part of the All-Star NBL team last season, but word has it that he might be going to Lithuania, and Brock Ryan Brockhoff, word is he might be heading to Russia.
Yeah, two pretty good spots, EuroLeague teams.
Golding from close range, banks two to get his scoring account open.
Yeah, it's a great spot for Brock. He can be aggressive and obviously have a pretty big role in that team and play in the EuroLeague. So it'll be a really good spot for him, and hopefully next year we'll see him over in America.
Tate wanted Abercrombie, denied by Brockhoff. Here's Vicona, just muscled Motum out of the equation. Good D again from Dellavedova against Webster. Forced him into a tough shot. That's excellent D. Now up and running Golding. Dellavedova wants it. Gets it now. Brockhoff lining up on the other wing. Wraparound pass was intended for Motum. Spills to Brockhoff. Can't complete it. And now Webster. Only Tate ahead of him in terms of teammates. So he slows it down. Goes to Vicona. Now Tate, they left him alone. Had time to measure the shot short on the rim.
They're the guys you want shooting, I think. Get it out of Webster's hands, like we said, and make those guys be aggressive.
Chris Golding with some tricks. Delighting the fans here. 16,000, a record crowd. Motum goes to work, and again, some excellent D is being played by Mika Vicona.
Have a look at Matty Dellavedova's D. This is where he's in the grill, up nice and tight. Anyone that he does, possibly for the rest of his life, is going to be a lot easier than dealing with Steph Curry.
Yeah, that's a man on a mission, that guy. We did beat him one time, but he's one of the toughest guys to guard in that league.
Shot clock to 3. Bairstow has to get it up against Fotu and didn't do it in time. It's waved away.
This has been an outstanding first half so far for the New Zealand team. The way in which they've been able to control the tempo, limit the scoring opportunities for the Boomers, held them to only 41% for the field, 0 of 7 from the three-point line as well. So couldn't have been a better start for the New Zealand team.
Bogut snatches the loose ball, Brockhoff in support. Now Bairstow joins in hard to the rim, can't get it to tumble, but he's off to the free throw line. They're not getting a lot of peace from New Zealand. The active hands, Bogut here.
Just so agile. He's like a point post. He can put the ball to the floor, bring it down. We saw him do that a lot with the Golden State Warriors. Can take the ball out of the basket or off the rebound and dribble it down himself. And they put the confidence in that he can handle the pill up and down the floor.
A great talent in that spot, around that elbow, making the passes that he can make. And with the guys we've got, he's a great guy to bear with a great offensive rebound.
Second chance opportunity now for the Boomers. Bairstow, guarded by Abercrombie, likes his chances, turned down the shot, went to the open, Dellavedova.
First three-pointer for the Boomers of the night, 1 of 8 now.
Back in front by 2, the Boomers. Fotu. Now Webster goes to work high off the window. That's an excellent finish from Corey Webster. Now up to 7 in the game. Only Mills with 8 has more.
Yeah, that's I think same thing. Great move by Jellybait. And the same thing down the other end with Webster. The bigs need to get up a little and really make him pass it. It's something they'll probably address at half-time.
Look at Matty Dellavedova. There's the 3-ball. Much needed one. Not only for him, for the entire team. And Webster comes back with the floater. That looks easy. That is a very, very difficult touch. And Matty Dellavedova, he hasn't got that blistering pace, but he's got nice touch.
He does. He did that a lot this year with Cleveland. Got guys on his hip and his shoulder, and was able to finish over bigger guys.
4 of 6 from the field. He's up to 10 points now, Matty D.
Webster gets it from Kenny. Guarded by Dellavedova. Inside the last 3 minutes of the first half from Rod Laver Arena. Low, Webster. And Dellavedova knocked down by Low.
Looked like a moving screen. I think they're going to call it on Low, an offensive foul. There we see off the ball. He did the handoff and then just dropped the shoulder and gets picked for the moving screen.
That's personal foul number 2.
6 fouls on New Zealand overall, 4 on the Boomers, who are back to their original starting 5, Australia. Bairstow restarts for Dellavedova. Had 4 in the first quarter, Dellavedova. 6 here in term number 2. Bogut, whistle off the ball again. Golding being impeded. Webster in the vicinity.
New Zealand with the foul this time.
I'm starting to think that there might be something to your story to say that Paddy Mills might be on limited time because right now the Boomers are playing for their life, and he came out in that second quarter, at the start of the second quarter, and lit it up, spending a lot of time on the bench. Philadelphia play, Dellavedova to Bogut.
That was a great pass. Seen that at practice a lot. They got it in Europe a lot too, and it's obviously coming up. When you've got those guys coming up and can shoot like that, it's you've got it showing it, and great pass by Delhi.
Actually, I'm going to take that back. Andrew Bogut made a pretty ordinary pass look very good. It was a little low.
Well, we loved it, but Paulie Hanari, the coach of New Zealand, didn't. He's called timeout. The Aussies lead it by 5. More coming at you right after this.
Okay, straight on that in the scramble. Offensively, when we get it, the flow's fine on the fly, okay? When we throw it into a footy.
Completely different. I was just saying we shouldn't just encounter football. I think a few fans that appreciate it.
We've got to move off them.
I've never sat this close to a basketball game before. It's absolutely incredible.
Mate, sitting this close to us, I think you like the look of. It might be New Zealand players, but I'm thinking it's Boomers. What Boomers players do you like out there?
Obviously, it's amazing to watch Paddy play, especially because he's a Crows fan as well. Just to repay him and come watch him play again. So.
Welcome back to Rod Laver Arena. Andre Lemanis just running through what he wants from the players. We've got Joe Ingles joining us in commentary here in the second quarter. And just back to Andrew Gaze's point, I didn't hear pre-game that Pat Mills was on restricted minutes courtesy of San Antonio. I can't divulge my sources, but it's a very strong source.
Well,
very strong.
I know Brett Brown's in the audience tonight. No, he's no longer with the Spurs. He's now with the Philadelphia 76ers, but he's well connected with the San Antonio Spurs.
No, it wasn't Brett. Very much closer to the Australian team. At the moment. Here's Abercrombie, got an open look, can't complete it. Excellent job from Lowe. He held off Bairstow with one arm, manufactured a shot but couldn't connect.
Does he have red hair?
Dellavedova. We'll get back to you on that one. Little over 2 minutes to play in the first half. The Aussies, who were down by as many as 7 in the opening quarter, find themselves at the moment enjoying a 5-point lead, but they've coughed up the ball here. Third turnover for them. Likewise, New Zealand with 3 in that category. Webster hands over Vicona in the corner. Kenny now Low, puts it on the floor. Pass Bairstow, knocks down Golding. No whistle, a travelling violation. The points will be waved away.
Travel violation call.
Well, there's a bonus. There's a win. The travel, I don't think, was on the pass. So we take a look. There's Lowe. He gets there. Good screen. Perhaps a hint of a charge. And there is a blatant travel.
Yeah, he's got about a metre and a half back on that.
3 steps. If he had taken a dribble in between there, he might have got away. Well, he would have got away because it was a bit illegal. But that one there, just too much for the referees to ignore.
Bogut.
Mills back here.
Gets it from Mills, now wants help. Bairstow. Shot clock works to 10 for the Boomers. Mills, double team, needs help. This is Bairstow, 5 on the shot clock against Vicona. Tough matchup for Bairstow. Vicona outstanding. Worried him out of the points and the shot clock expires in the background.
Yeah, tough to go one-on-one against Nick Vicona. We've played together at the Dragons and one of the best defenders and teammates I've had. So it's probably not the best option you want.
This is Bairstow, who plays with the Chicago Bulls. He's a multi-purpose player, strong player, and Vicona gave him more than he could handle.
And Joe, they say he needs to develop a 3-point game if he's going to stick in the NBA. Is that how you see it with Bairstow?
Yeah, I think he's got everything else. He's got the defense, the rebounding, the work ethic. But yeah, if you want to play in the NBA, I think now with the 4 men being such shooters, you've got to be able to shoot the 3. So it's something he'll keep developing, and I'm sure he'll get it.
Inside the last 60 seconds of the first half, Australia by 5 with possession. Bogut gets it from Gibson. Guarded by Vicona. Mills being buffeted by Abercrombie. Denied him the ball initially, but now he's got the rock and he's got 3 on the shot clock. Has to go up from Bairstow.
Take that.
Knocks the mid-on 3.
There we go. Just what Drew talked about. I actually worked out with him in Brisbane a few times, and he was standing there shooting for hours. So it's obviously helping him, and it will help him in the league next year with the Bulls.
Game high 8-point lead now for the Boomers. Shot clock to 10. Kenny goes to work. Can't complete it. The Australians can slow it down for the last play of the first half. They were down 4. Down at quarter time. They have really turned it on here with 22 points in this term to 10. As Mills goes to work, zigzagging one way, lost the handle, under pressure. Gibson scoops up the loose ball, couldn't get enough on the shot. And that is after the event from Jared Kenny. And an entertaining first half concludes with the Australian Boomers enjoying an 8-point buffer. Look at Bairstow, put a lid on 3. And we have a ball game. It's Australia 34, leading New Zealand 26. More from Nine's Wide World of Sports right after this.
And ladies and gentlemen, it's been very time. Sorry about that. I got some nice things back here in Melbourne. Hey, what do you think about this crowd? Biggest crowd in the basketball game in Melbourne since the Sydney 2000 Olympics.
This is only half time, I've got to say this is the best Australian home crowd that I've played in front of.
He's having a hard time talking, so why don't you give it one more time, folks, for Paddy Mills. He'll bring it again in the second half. Only guy without an ever, she's joined by Swiss Ambassador Karen Martini.
Yes, I am indeed, Nathan. Now, Karen, it's great to have you. Obviously, here with Swiss Ambassador, but also a chef and restaurateur. This is obviously a little bit different than being in the kitchen. How are you enjoying the night so far?
Well, it's just as electric as being in the kitchen. It's high-paced and an amazing crowd, and I'm super enjoying it. But, yeah, I used to play and love basketball when I was really young, but now it's more time in the kitchen. But now I have to get back. It's great.
Fantastic. I mean, we are in amongst basketball royalty tonight. Any plays in particular that you're looking forward to seeing?
Mills, Beladova, or Belly, as they call it, and Boga, and I mean, the whole Boomers team is pretty, extraordinary.
Who are you with tonight in particular?
My family, my girls, my young girls who just started playing basketball, Stella and Amber.
I was going to say, are they going to be basketballers or are they going to be chefs?
No, they're basketball. Definitely. And pushing them towards that. They'll be able to cook anyway. And my husband watches the activities and love program t-shirts.
Fantastic. Well, it's great to have you here tonight. Fantastic, of course, to have Swiss on board as well. Thank you very much, Karen. What's your idea of an exciting and worthwhile pastime in the Army Reserve? You'll make new friends, learn new skills, need help communities that you need. Find out more about the reserve on the stand at the entrance and enjoy a full-on adventure with a part-time commitment.
One hour east of Melbourne, beautiful Yarra Valley. It's an area famous for exceptional food and wine, of course. The region, perfect place to linger over long lunches, go into a few of the cellar doors with spectacular views of rolling hills and boundless vineyards. What a first half of basketball we've had here. The Boomers and the Tall Blacks, we saw the stirring Haka, and the New Zealanders came out and they were ready to play.
It was fantastic. Both teams did, and both teams were a little nervous at the start of the game, similar to what we saw with the Opals. Their shooting percentages were down, but what an exciting game. We've got Paddy Mills in that second quarter, just lifted it up a notch, and Matty Dellavedova, he's been fantastic, and just the class pass around the basket, the way he puts it to the floor and get to the rack. And New Zealand, they haven't shied away from the challenges that they face. They're daunting challenges, but I've been impressed the way they've been able to execute in the half court and distribute the ball. And for most of that first half, you say it was played right at their tempo. And it was only in the dying stage of the last half of the second quarter that Australia really started to gain an advantage.
What do they need to do here in this second half to give themselves enough cushion, because they've got to go back to New Zealand, play in Wellington, where they're going to have things their way a bit?
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, let's not forget the system. It's a two-game series. So New Zealand, most importantly, is that they're trying to win. But if they're going to lose, a narrow loss is not the end of the world for them, because then they go back on their home court and can turn it around. But they just don't want to let this game blow out. So tempo control, I think, for them is much more critical than it is for the Boomers, because if the Boomers get out, play that up and down running game, and the score gets up to the 80s or 90s, that's working way more in their favour as far as just winning this game, but also it puts a lot more pressure on the New Zealand offence and how they're going to keep this game close. But Corey Webster, 3 of 9, he's been very, very good, although his shooting percentage, and there we saw Matty Dellavedova teaming up with Andrew Bogut with that alley-oop. So I'd suggest that Andre Lamanis be a little bit disappointed with that first half in totality, but would be wrapped in the last 5 minutes of the second quarter.
What do you think of the big men like Bogut, like Outback Shaq?
Well, yeah, that down low, you could see the size advantage they had down there, and early on they were throwing it inside. As we take a look at some of the stats, they're pretty even, but not a lot of fouls either, 4 to 7. So both teams just, I think that's reflective of the style of play. Similar offense to defense, but when you talk about those big fellas down low, you can see when Australia don't have any problems getting the ball in there, although we haven't seen them capitalise a whole lot. But the mere fact they get it in there, defence collapse, they kick it out, and they're such good passes, they're getting those open perimeter shots.
All right, let's get down to Bill courtside with Joe and Hammer.
And me as well, Tim. What do you know? There's 3 of us. Shane, you're a head coach yourself these days in the Women's National Basketball League, and you've coached the men before. What do you think Andre Lamanis is going to tell his team at halftime?
Well, I think they've got to get a little bit more disruptive. They've only caused 4 turnovers. Their game is to be able to get up the court. As Rui said, they want to be in the 80s and 90s, I think, to be able to get a bigger lead, and it's going to come from the defensive end. And I think if they do that, it's going to be able to multiply points and put pressure straight back on New Zealand straight away.
Who's impressed you most, Joe? Has it been the big guys? It's been Delhi, been Paddy coming off the bench?
Yeah, I think those two. Bogut's passing, obviously, a huge advantage for this team. And Paddy will get going. He showed in that second quarter. You leave him open, it's a pretty dangerous thing. And gets going from that three-point line in the second half, but it could get ugly for the Tall Blacks. So he needs to stay aggressive. Delhi's always controlling the tempo. Delhi's great at what he does. But, yeah, I think they'll keep being aggressive with Paddy.
And what about Dellavedova? Do you think that he can really take over this in the second half, or is he going to be more a distributing role?
Well, I think he has to take what they give him. I thought he had a great first half, 10 points, but he also controlled the tempo. You see him on the break there. He just plays with a whole lot of poise. He's come back a different player. You play with LeBron James, you play through the whole playoff series and everything else. You learn so much. He looks so much more polished, and he's at ease. And I think he'll be able to direct the traffic well in the second half.
It's amazing when you look at a guy like Paddy and the beautiful stroke that he's got. I'm sure you remember back in the day, he couldn't beat his own coach, Brian Goorjian, in a shooting competition, and now here he's doing it.
Yeah, I don't think any of us could. I remember losing to him multiple times, and I think like we said, if Paddy can get going in that second half, he can get hot real quick, like he showed in the playoffs 2 years ago. So if he can get hot real quick, it could get ugly for them.
All right, thanks guys, it's been great. Back up to you, Tim.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Shane, and thank you, Big Joe. Of course, a big second half of basketball just around the corner.
Everyone's ready for a great rest of
Welcome back to Rod Laver Arena. World of sports coverage of the FIBA Oceania Championship for men 2-game series. Winner qualifies for the Rio Olympics directly, and the loser will get a second chance opportunity at a tournament with 12 teams next year at a venue to be decided. So it's not the end of the road. And speaking of Rio, in exactly 1 year from today, it will be day 10 of competition.
Ooh, can't wait.
In Rio. So it's all to play for. Fotu goes to work and comes up with his first score in the game.
You know, he was on the radar. He was drafted, this year's draft. He never got drafted, but he played 2 years at the University of Hawaii. He's got some talent down low, good size, good athleticism.
Bogut wanted a foul called on Fotu. Thought he was bumped out of court. He was getting none of it. Here's Fotu going to work. He's an exciting commodity.
He's unique, isn't he? Very tough to defend, but likes playing physical as well.
And developed a bit of a perimeter game with his shot.
Still only 21 years of age. Seems destined for a big future. This is Abercrombie for Webster. They've harassed him all night, and they continue to. Vicona off to Abercrombie, getting a bump from Brokoff, who went back for seconds. Did well there, Brokoff. Leads the Boomers in rebounding and adds to that tally there. Now with 6 boards, only Fotu with 7 has more in the game. Way to tick over a minute here in the third quarter. Dellavedova sneaking backdoor. Golding, Brokoff. Good recovery from Kenny, knocking the ball down and leaving Australia with 9 on the shot clock.
Well, could you believe that Brokoff has not scored yet?
And, you know, they haven't really gone to him all that much, Hammer. He's been starved of opportunity. He only had the 1 field goal attempt, and that was a bit of a rush three-pointer from the corner. I reckon they need to call some plays, get him involved. But if Matty Dellavedova keeps dropping him from three-point line, let's go to him.
I think that second serve at your pre-game, Andrew, might have just tipped you over the edge. Love the passion. Here's Webster. Goes to work with the float. Oh, that's pretty to watch.
Got to do a better job on the defensive end, Hammer. Again, coming off those curls. What an outstanding job this New Zealand team does of getting the ball to the right people at the right time.
And that's a tough shot. I mean, he was under all sorts of pressure, floating forward, and still being able to put it in.
Here's Golding. Shot clock rolls to 6. Needs to get busy. Abercrombie on the retreat. That's a tough shot, but Golding puts a lid on it. He's 2 of 2 from the field. And to a 9-point edge. Took over 2 minutes played here in the third quarter. Abercrombie guarded by Brokoff. He was Australia's best player in the Lithuania-Slovenia campaign. Here's Fotu going to work on Bairstow. Nice soft touch as well with a finish.
Playing with confidence. You know, he can take it off the dribble, he fades, he gets into the post. So active, as we spoke about before.
He had 30 in the game too in one of their lead-up games, so he's capable of scoring big numbers.
He had 34 against China.
That's
in
the
the Stankovic Cup, and really turned it on. So he is a very exciting player. And Golding too. He seems to have improved after a season in Spain. We know he's turned it on in the NBL. Dellavedova comes up empty. Bairstow the rebound. Takes on Vicona. Well, he's just a demon at the defensive end, Mika Vicona. Wants to do the ball carrying as well. Hands over now. This is Kenny. Had 5 points in the opening quarter, Kenny, and hasn't scored since. Abercrombie with the shot clock working to 10. Again, they deny Webster the ball. In the corner, Kenny, rattled around the rim and leapt out. Here's Dellavedova, single coverage. Webster on the retreat. Dellavedova now's got problems. Ball trickles out of court. Australian possession.
He's just relentless, Matthew Dellavedova.
It is a pleasure to watch. I mean, you very rarely get appreciation or see anything sexy about playing good defense. But I tell you, I'm in love with what he's doing. Just when you see it live, the fierceness that he works off the ball, he takes a spell, a well-earned rest. But it's just unbelievable the effort he applies.
And it's every possession.
It doesn't take a possession off.
Brokoff can't convert. Look at again Vicona, a monster on the boards, doing all the heavy lifting for the Tall Blacks as they look to reel in this lead. They're down by 7 at the moment. They led by 7 in the first quarter. Here's Webster. This time found a way beyond Gibson, confronted by Bogut. Can't complete it. Bogut the rebound. This is Gibson. taking on Webster, handing over to Dave Anderson. Anderson wants support, calls in Golding. Single numbers on the shot clock. Pass for Gibson, partially deflected. They need to get busier. They've got 4 on the shot clock. Anderson going to work with the undersized Vicona. Draws the foul.
I think he might have got away with one here. There's a lot of pushing and shoving, but the elbow hook by Anderson down low as we take a look at the replay. A lot of contact going on. Vicona undersized. See that little hook there? That's, it makes it very hard on the defense when you allow the offense to use their elbows and hook like that.
Dave Anderson has been a fantastic contributor for the Boomers for a number of years. 3-time Olympian, last 2 World Championships, spent time in the NBA as well, and success all around the world. Wherever he's gone, he's had success.
And always put his hand up to play for the Boomers too, which you've got to give him full credit for.
Very, very passionate about his country, and has been all along, as you say.
Low-scoring third term here at the moment. Australia lead at 7-6 in this quarter. Golding, now Bogut. Bogut's stats aren't immense, 2 points, 3 rebounds. But if you look at what the Australian team achieves when he's on the floor, he's the best performer in the plus-minus category. Brockhoff, shot clock to 5. They've got Vicona in the air, dishes to Anderson. That's a tough shot, and it's all the bottom of the net.
Well, Andre Lamanis was saying, big fella, we don't like the fadeaway. Now he'd be saying, I love the fadeaway when it's nothing but cotton.
Margin into double figures for the first time in the game. Webster hands over, gets it back from Vicona, who supplies a good screen. He found an opening and knocked it down sweetly.
Tough play by Mika Vicona, but great work off the ball from Corey Webster. He faked one way and just exploded off the other and pulled up on a dime.
Gibson picks up the dribble, needs help. Anderson is there. Bogut against the undersized Fotu, shows in the ball, now backing his way and just muscling his way into the paint. Lost the handle, goes with the left hand, overcooked it. Anderson almost kept it alive, but Isaac Fotu is there to clean up and hand over for Lindsay Tate.
Get a sense of frustration with Bogut down low. He's 1 of 4 from the field.
Webster getting some treatment from Gibson. Screen from Vicona. Webster. Step back. Found some space and peels off another to Webster. Adds to his tally. Now with 13, he joins Dellavedova as the game high scorer.
6 of 13 hit. Sorry, Hammer, but here's David Anderson. This time he turns to the baseline side and steps back. But this man here, Corey Webster, again, it's Andrew Bogut that needs to show on the shooter.
So Australia with a 7-point advantage will be back at Rod Laver Arena right after this.
That's what's hoping that my son understands this. $300 American gift. Let me see you yell for the man to get this. So you know that? A little bit of choreography, that's good.
It's out of a lot of what we're trying to do, okay? So you've got to be prepared to get in, make a lead, come here, hard cuts, post down the corner, get some downs, get some different actions, all right, get some downs, get some handles. We got viewers to call across, so corner's something like 3 or 4. You know what I mean? This one here, just come in with a motion flash. Motion flash. Motion flash. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Well, make no mistake about it. The Kiwis are here to try and win this game. However, if they don't, a 7-point margin of where it is right now, they would be going back with a whole lot of confidence, believing that they could turn that around with an opportunity to be able to win by 8 to go to the Olympic Games. They've only been there twice.
That's right. In fact, I think you torched them in your very last game of the 04 Olympics. Was your last performance. You had 30 against the Kiwis, hit 9 threes against them. I bet you're loving that.
Yeah, certainly a nice way to be able to go out against the Kiwis.
It's Paddy Mills back in. And I reckon Andre Lamanis, he'd be thinking exactly what we're thinking as well. He would clearly wants to win, but it's about trying to give as big a buffer as you can, because when you go on the road in that hostile environment, which I'm sure with the New Zealand fans coming out and forced to see him.
That game too on Tuesday. Here's the outback Shaq. Jawai, was that an offensive foul? It's waved away. This use of the arm.
No basket, offensive foul.
Very hard to officiate when you've got such a big fella down low. Very rarely do you see that call made. That's just a bigger body going up against a more slender one and gets called for the offensive foul.
The Kiwis have scored the last 4 here, and they're building. Tate, hands over. Bartlett, the left-hander, way off the money. Good pressure from Paddy Mills.
Bartlett, sorry, Case, but Bartley spent some time in the NBL, but in this off-season been playing with Ballarat Miners in the SCABL competition, and now he's in front of 15,000, 16,000 people at the tennis centre.
Actually won the 2006 Dunk of the Year in the NBL. Mills can't convert. Anderson keeps it alive momentarily. New Zealand will get possession.
To New Zealand. He's lost his mind, Bartlett. He rotated off Pat Mills
in the
to go to another player to leave Paddy open from 3. Happy birthday to get off with that one.
That's exactly right. That's a let-off, a bad defensive decision that he gets let off. And we take it, there's the Bartlett with his miss, and that's good close out by Paddy Mills, showing that he's got some good effort on the defensive end.
When he can shoot the ball too, Bartlett.
My word.
That's his game.
And can get up. He's got some sneaky hops. I think he won an NBL dunk contest, didn't he?
2006.
I knew you'd be across it.
Tick over 3 minutes left, term number 3. Margin is 7. Kiwis with possession and a shot clock in single numbers. This is Shea Illy. It's back to Ruben Tarangi. And now Webster, this time short on the rim. Jawai scoops up the long rebound. Mills in traffic, feeling confident.
He's got the goggles out. Oh, high fives from the commentary box.
I see those 3 goggles, Paddy.
Mills now with 11. Only Dellavedova with 13 has more. Top of the key. No response there from low, but they get the rebound. Bartlett feeds Ruben Tarangi, and he drills the triple.
And they need that. Just keeping it tight, trying to answer every challenge that the Boomers throw at him.
Mills lost the handle. Spills out of court. They turn it over for the 6th time. New Zealand has 4 in that category.
Have a look at Paddy Mills in transition. A little shiver by the big fella. Knocks it down. And look at the trademark googly eyes, or whatever you call them, Emma. I don't know what it is, but I love it.
he just had so much poise coming up the court. He just used Nathan Jawai as a moving side screen to be able to get himself some space.
There's Webster, double team. They left low open. He can't complete it. Jawai had a couple to beat and works it out of court off Everard Bartlett. So the Boomers will get possession. 2 minutes to play, term number 3.
What a presence Nathan Jawai. Played with some of the bigger teams in Europe and also spent some time in the NBA. Listed on our sheet, Hammer, as 140 kg. That is some serious moving you've got to do down low on the low block.
Anderson from 3-point territory puts the lid on it. Double-figure lead again for the Boomers. 11 has been the biggest margin in this quarter. New Zealand led by 7 in the opening term. It's Isaac Fotu. Nice pass down low against Anderson, was patient and adds another 2. He now has 8, and only Webster with 13 has more for New Zealand. Mills in a mismatch, kicks to Anderson, back-to-back threes, couldn't get it to go. Now Webster gets it from Ruben Tarangi, exploring on the triple. That rolls around the rim, jumps out. Didn't like the view up there. Dellavedova, Anderson rolling to the hoop. Folks who arrives quickly, knocks the ball down, diffuses the situation momentarily.
There is a lot of tired bodies out there running around right now, and there's just David Anderson get caught napping on the weak side.
But great pass from Fotu.
Terrific pass.
Be able to read that. Again, hit the big fella down in the paint.
Final 50 seconds of this third quarter. Single numbers on the shot clock for the Boomers. Dellavedova finds Newley with a sweet pass. He penetrates, slashes to the hoop, overcooked it off the window, and Bartlett's off and running for New Zealand.
That's where Dellavedova's world class. Just finding the rotations, almost Steve Nash-like.
Bartlett goes to Webster. He drills the three, and New Zealand close the gap to 8.
In fact,
5. Make that 5 now. 49-44. And the shot clock was just a second inside the game clock here. It's been a terrific fight back, down by as many as 11. Tarangi called for the foul. It's the third on New Zealand here in this quarter.
It was the right idea.
Yeah.
He just went too early. He needed to wait until Dellavedova got into it with 5-6 seconds to go. Give themselves an extra 3. I guess they'll do it again now, but they're going to have to burn another foul.
Look at Webster coming off those down screens. A lot of down screened action going on both ends. And they've got another one to give, so they're going to probably kill some more clock here.
Webster had 7 at halftime. He's added 9 in this third quarter. Dellavedova gets it from Jawai, spinning, out of control. Loose ball scooped up by Ruben Tarangi. Needs to get it off quickly. It's Webster on the buzzer. He wasn't far away. Well, we are set for a gripping final quarter coming your way from Rod Laver Arena with 1 quarter to play. It's Australia 49, New Zealand 44 here on Nine's Wide World of Sports.
We get a Mexican way to go around this place 3 times. So it costs to enter in the crowd to get us started. If we get a big wave, everyone takes those big crust. Pizza tonight, over to you, Emma.
Yeah, thanks, Nick. I want pizza. These guys want pizza. We all want pizza. So let's get it started again. Are we ready for the countdown? 10, 9, 8.
Come on, give those hands up. Keep it going. Ladies and gentlemen, come on. Let's do. I like your voice. I like it. Keep it going. I want to do. Big love to Kurt Pizza. Johnny Ross and Steve Greenberg in the details. Your tickets from tonight's game.
Welcome back to Rod Laver Arena. The New Zealand Tall Blacks here, giving Australia all they can handle at the moment. It's a 5-point game. Remembering they led by as many as 7 in the first quarter. The Boomers were out by 11 in the middle stages of this third quarter, but we have got a ball game and really some pressure on the Boomers here in this final quarter in terms of trying to build that lead. We'll take a look at some of the numbers as well. 43% from the field and 38 from New Zealand. Australia taken over in the rebound count after they trailed at quarter time. And there's a lot to like about what New Zealand are doing. What else have you mustered on the stat sheet there?
Well, I think that'd be wrapped with just the rebounds. Although they trail at New Zealand, given the size disadvantage they have, they wouldn't be overly disappointed with that. And only, if you had said at the start of the game to Paul Hanari, the head coach of the Tall Blacks, you're only going to trail it by 5 at 3/4 time, I reckon he'd be happy to sign off on that one.
I was going to say exactly the same thing. They will take some confidence. And so will big Nate Jawai from that, like a backo.
Here's Webster. Fotu. Abercrombie guarded by Newley. Then they wait for Webster, harassed by Dellavedova. Found some space. Now he's cooking. Has to retreat low. Skip pass. Active hands from Newley. Shot clock at 3. Abercrombie out of controls. Lost at Mills. Pirouetted. Goes behind the back. Showing them all the trick. Alley-oop playing. The nature wide just couldn't finish it off.
Right idea, but he doesn't have Tim Duncan running that right-hand wing. It's Nathan Jawai, and not quite as nimble as some of his teammates. Kawhi Leonard, his San Antonio Spurs teammates.
Little different, but Australia's defence in the first 2 possessions has gone to a whole nother level.
Fotu gets it from Ruben Tarangi. Wants Webster. Dellavedova all over him again. Webster goes on with the dribble. Worried out of the points by Anderson. Fotu just snatched it away and helped himself to 2.
And a little miscommunication. You saw Dave Anderson, Nathan Jawai pointing fingers at each other. That's not a good look, Hammer.
Do not sleep on Fotu. He is that active. I love his game.
6 points, 9 rebounds for Isaac Fotu. Is Dellavedova. Anderson available, elevates over Fotu and fills it up. He's into double figures, the 3rd Aussie in that category.
Dave Anderson has played in that many big games. He's won Euro Leagues, he's won cups in every country in Europe. He is so respected over there.
Tarangi lost the handle, had a dance across the halfway line. Shot clock at 4. Corey Webster needs to get busy. Confronted by Mills, found a way pass and turns on a show.
Brilliant stuff, Corey Webster. What a way to just so control down the middle, floats it up there. He is a handful.
He's a world-class scorer, Drew. He is world-class.
Led the Kiwis at the World Champs last year, as I mentioned, with a tournament high 26 against Lithuania, averaged 14 points a game at the World Champs. He is just a machine.
Look at this, little shake and bake, goes to his left. The reach by Paddy Mills is not going to get it done, but look at the touch. The beautiful touch by Webster as he goes up there amongst the tall timber. And that's the difference that David Anderson compared to Andrew Bogut. Anderson will give you a little bit more on the offensive end, but he's not that rim protector that Andrew Bogut is down low.
Single numbers on the shot clock as Anderson gets it down low in a mismatch. Not for Kona, just muscles his way in, overcooked the shot. Bairstow can't complete it, loose ball, rebound up for grabs, and New Zealand have it. 5-point ball game, 7 and a bit to play here at Rod Laver Arena in front of 16,000, a sellout. Game 2 in New Zealand on Tuesday. Webster elevates, drops another 2. He's up to 20 and leads all scorers. 7:15 to play. A 3-point ball game, and Andre Lamanis needs to chat to the Boomers.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we take your time out, Australia still ahead by 3. I just want to let you know, officially, the crowd attendance here tonight is 15,062 people. A massive thank you to Basketball Australia and 9 Live for bringing the biggest crowd to a basketball game since the Sydney Olympics. As we thank them, I'm joined here. Speaking of Olympics, the last time we saw an Australian basketball game there was at the London Olympics, and we were both wearing lycra bodysuits. How come you're not wearing your bodysuit tonight?
And they told specifically not to wear that again until you had the same thing as well. But I was actually lucky enough to be in Oakland and saw Bogey and Dellavedova in June a few weeks ago at the finals. So next time I said.
Welcome back to Rod Laver Arena. There you have it. 15,062 are here and have had a great night. The Opals winning earlier by 20, 61-41 over New Zealand. And right now, 7:15 on the clock. It's the Boomers by 3.
It is, and real nervous time for the Boomers. Case, this hasn't gone according to the script. I think we all thought that there'd be a gallant fight by the New Zealand team, but they've taken it right up to the Boomers. And I think it's really on the offensive end. The Boomers got to find a way to break the shackles and create some easier scoring baskets, because everything's coming under pressure, Hammer.
And right now, do you reckon Corey Webster knows there's an NBA scout here tonight? He's got 20, and there's 7 minutes to go.
Corey Webster, most impressive.
Corey Webster's career high in the NBL is 27. And that was scored in double overtime win in Perth in February. Led New Zealand Breakers scoring 14 times this season, so he's used to throwing it up and putting some big points on the board.
So the challenge is with the Boomers. Shot clock works to 5 for Paddy Mills. Bogut dances into the paint with the left hand, can't get the finish, and Vakona snatches another rebound. Well, they've stunned the fans here. New Zealand hasn't beaten the Boomers in 6 years, and they haven't won in Australia since 2007. An 8-year drought here. Vakona, reluctant shooter. Here's the man they want, Webster. Now Vakona, shot clock to 4. Lowe pulls the trigger, caught it deep.
Oh, my. Oh, that's a good look. A real good look by Lowe. And you think, oh, 7-footer can't shoot. No, 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 no. That's his game. And he had a wide open look to lock up the scores. Here's the foul. That's a good foul. Great foul. Boomers in transition. Just take that away from him.
As is number 6, Jared Kenny.
3 points, the margin with 6 minutes to go.
Ruben Tarangi sits down. Here's Bairstow, gets it from Gibson, and now Mills. A little over 6 minutes left on the clock. Mills picks up the dribble. Bogut goes to work, lost her handle.
Going to go to the line to shoot a couple of free throws. Foul called.
Paulie Hanari, the coach of New Zealand, doesn't like it at all. He's been told to calm down. Let's get another look at this.
And here it is. The big fella catches it in there. Little fumble. I think he thought it might have been a travel. Certainly not a foul. I don't know how they've come across a foul, but it sends Andrew Bogut to the free throw line. And this is a mystery, Hammer. Last season only shot it at 52% from the free throw line. Career 56% free throw shooter in the NBA. And he does what a man making $14.5 million a year should do, and that's knock down a free throw.
US.
Which is about 28 million Australian dollars.
Bogut's first score since the second quarter. He's tally now at 4, 1 of 5 from the field, 2 of 2 from the stripe, 3 rebounds. And the fans getting involved as well. Webster inside Bogut, confronted by Gibson, banks 2 off glass. He's got 22 on 10 of 20 shooting. 50% from the field. Corey Webster has turned it on and making the Boomers earn everything. Mills couldn't keep it alive. Bogut puts his hand up to claim a poor pass. They've coughed it up. Turnover number 9 for Australia. New Zealand has 5 in that category.
Hanari's done a good job, really putting in a good system for Corey Webster too. Corey's working well without the ball. He's relentless on that side of it. And right now is his time. If they're going to win, it's going to be on the hand of Corey Webster.
And I love Dibbo guarding Corey Webster, but this is the time I want Matty Dellavedova. With 3 points up, with 5.5 to go, get your main defensive stopper out there on Webster and lock him and try and shut him down.
Why isn't he in the game right now? On all fronts, not just defensively.
Doing a great job on the offensive end. He's got 13 points, 5 of 8 from the field.
Here's Webster, guarded by Gibson. Shot clock to 10. Picks up the dribble, now he's got problems. Double teamed initially, still held it for a long time. Fotu, 4 on the shot clock, can't convert. Bogut the rebound. Brian Brockhoff still yet to score in the game. Remembering he started for Australia.
We got the memo.
Dellavedova's warming. He's about to come back in. Again, the pass is a poor one. Bairstow and Mills cough it up between them, and Dellavedova's going to check in, and Adam Gibson sits down.
And that's one of the things you look at New Zealand. They've only got 5 turnovers. That's the 10th turnover for Australia. New Zealand doing an outstanding job of taking care of the ball.
Timeout called. 5:07 left on the clock. Australia with a slender 3-point advantage, and they have some work to do here.
My word, they do. And this is really going to be not only a test of their ability and execution, it's going to be a bit of a gut check for the Boomers as well.
Big thing is here just to maintain our composure. All right, it's not stressful. We're okay. All right, we just keep playing. We play hard defensively, play hard offensively. And again, it's a game over 80 minutes. Don't let the pressure of this game bother us. Okay, we're all good. So defensively, keep chasing, keep behind hands, boxing out. When we get it, find some pace, and then establish some post targets. So walk-ups, just go with motion here. If the cutter's coming out, throw it in, cut off that, get the pull over, hit the down screen and keep some stuff at the rim. Okay? Keep motion and then we post it up. Okay? Let's go. Come on, boys. Here we go, Coach. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Andre Lamanis there just trying to steady the boys down, and that's easier said than done. The coach wants them to be relaxed and try and eliminate some of those sloppy turnovers, but sometimes the anxiety of the moment, Hammer, and they would never have thought that with 5 minutes remaining that they'd only have a 3-point lead in a low-scoring game, 55 to 52. This has gone perfectly to script for New Zealand.
And this is when Australia have to be able to have their next offensive set based on what Andre Lamanis called. Can they execute it that you practice over and over again at a critical time?
Webster takes it from Abercrombie. Now Vicona. Abercrombie, he's overdue, pulls the trigger on the three, can't convert.
Wow.
Bairstow with a rebound.
Great look. He's much better coming off the dribble going left.
None of 4 from deep, 1 of 7 in the game, Abercrombie. Brokoff, guarded by Abercrombie. Here's Boga, quick spin, couldn't find a way past the 21-year-old Isaac Fotu. Flipped up the left-handed shot, no reply.
We did talk about getting it to Bogut down low in that timeout. Hammer, this is a real test for your offense as well, and how you're going to create scoring opportunities like New Zealand have done for Webster on the offensive end. And talk about this flow offense. As long as it flows into the right people at the right time to get them the right shots.
Well, the problem with flow is that you don't have an ability all the time to be able to call a play for a specific player. As you see, Corey Webster miss one that he normally makes 9 out of 10 times.
Well, they've had 3 looks. Rowe had 1 to tie it up. Webster's had 1, and also Abercrombie's had 1. So they've all had a crack at it.
Fotu will restart. Finds Vicona, who hasn't scored since quarter time. Webster wheeling and dealing. Oh, that one over-ambitious, couldn't complete it. And Michael Aylen with a whistle off the ball. Vicona and Dellavedova in a tangle.
It's going against Dellavedova in the rebounding contest.
Yeah, we need to see that again.
Off the ball.
It's a tough ask boxing out Mika Vicona.
You see it here at the end. You see the shot goes up there. You see the block out, and then just the little shove, but nothing in that.
Big call at that stage of the game, no doubt about it. Probably didn't need to do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the game is in the balance.
Second foul on Dellavedova. Both second team foul on Australia in this quarter. New Zealand with 3 in this term.
Technically that's foul there, Hammer, but the refs are going to blow the pee out of their whistle. They're going to call that. Oh, Abercrombie!
Mr. Golden opportunity. Mills has Bairstow in support. Lines up the thread. Splashes it. And the fans are on their feet.
A 5-point turnaround. Missed open layup and a 3-pointer from Patty Mills.
5-point turnaround.
Abercrombie with it.
They have tightened up the Kiwis. Make no mistake about it.
They've had real good looks though, Hammer.
That's what I'm saying.
Fotu wrestling, and the foul's called on Ryan Brokoff.
Wow.
His first, 3rd on Australia. Let's get a look at Patty Mills again.
Well, the miss was the first thing. Stops, pops, splashes it down. I love it.
Has Fotu seen the scouting report on Patty Mills? Come out of the paint, pal. Carry a hand.
Well, they orchestrated good look the last time from the baseline inbounds, the Kiwis. Webster, past Mills, in the corner. This is Kenny, hasn't scored since the opening turn. He's got the answering tray.
Wide open.
A great extra pass from Corey Webster. He knows he's a better shooter. He wanted to shoot it himself, but made the extra one and had trust in him.
Mills, again open, gets it from Dellavedova, and from the other wing, he puts a lid on 3 more.
That's when Australia looked best. Pick the pick and get Paddy off some down ticks.
Nice.
And let him go.
And milk this until you can't milk it anymore.
Mills with 17 leads Australia. Webster with 22 leads the game. Vicona kicks outside. Here's Jared Kenny going to work again. Back-to-back triples.
Oh, my.
This is just an extraordinary display by New Zealand. Can't speak more highly. Paul Hanari, the plays and the calls he's making. Beautiful to watch.
Great pass by Mika Vicona too.
Here's Anderson in the paint, reaching in for Kona, called for the foul. Going to be his 4th personal and the 4th team foul on New Zealand in this quarter.
You know, that's a good play. A pick and roll, but we've just had back-to-back threes from Paddy Mills, and I say go to the well. Just keep going it. He should be handling the ball every single possession. The offense should run through that man right there. Get it into his hands.
And not at the start, not where he has to create, shoot one off the dribble, but get him moving like New Zealand are doing for Corey Webster. He's so quick and so tough to defend.
Boomers have been good from the free throw line. That's now 8 of 9 in the game. New Zealand hasn't been to the free throw line since half-time. Webster on Fotu, denied that initially by Anderson. Now they work it to him. 2.5 to play. 5-point ball game. The margin's been as big as 11 in Australia's favour in the third. The Kiwis led by 7 in the first quarter. 5 on the shot clock. Abercrombie hands over. Fotu couldn't complete it, and Brokoff grabs the rebound.
And full credit to David Anderson coming out, closing out, and making Fotu take a real tough three.
Dellavedova picks up the dribble, wants help. Ryan Brokoff goes back to him. Inside 2 minutes remaining. Dellavedova, lob pass, Bairstow, just a little unbalanced, measures the shot, comes up with the finish, and Cam Bairstow gets his first points of the second half to buy Australia a 7-point edge.
Real good pass again by Matty Dellavedova.
A good poise too from Bairstow. He took his time, he rebalanced himself. He's got a great little fadeaway, Drewy.
He does, and just a steadying too to give it just a bit of breathing space. I mean, we've been talking about margins and spreads and all sorts of stuff. Let's just concentrate on getting the win if you're in the Australian camp.
I like you folks now. We're going to get those hands and feet going.
You see it. New Zealand have won just twice in Australia. In 06, they won 79-71, and that was at Hisense Arena across the road here. And prior to that, or just in their last win here, was 07. It's 67-58 when they won in Brisbane. So it's been 8 years since they've won here in Australia.
You go back to 2009 was the last time I think of at the top of my head when we had this 2-game series. We lost that series because we won at home, but New Zealand beat us by more when we played in Wellington, I believe it was.
That's
so
right.
We've played this series before and we've come up short. Back in 2009, it was far different team, and they're preparing for the World Cup where both teams had already qualified. Different set of circumstance. A lot more at stake here.
That series, we won the first game 84-77. In the backup game, New Zealand won 100-78 by 22.
Wellington is a tough place to play too. It's where I coached last year. They're passionate about it. It's a good basketball stadium. They will be ready.
Going to be a great finish here. A little over a minute left on the clock. Webster harassed by Mills. Low, guarded by Bairstow. Vakona was in the paint for a long time. A foul's been called on Australia.
I think that's why he was in there for a long time, got tangled up with Dave Anderson. Mika Vakona is the king at this. Oh, look, we're all tangled up. He seems to get involved in those circumstances a lot.
He is, but Low may not want to make a pass to a guy not looking at it.
Again, they get Webster involved. He shook Dellavedova initially, now goes to work. Excellent hands from Dellavedova, but a foot violation is now called. We reset the shot clock to 14. This has been a tremendous battle. Dellavedova against Webster, worth the price of admission alone.
My word, spectacular display.
Dellavedova with 13 points himself, but only 3 since half-time. So the shot clock works to single numbers for Kenny. He's already hit a couple of threes in this quarter. This time it's Mills stripping it for the ball, and they win possession.
Get around him. He's done it on the offensive end. Now he's doing it on the defensive end. Good footwork, slapping in the ball, and just, that is an incorrect call.
Bairstow broke off, gets by Kenny to the baseline, wants help. Bairstow got a good look at it, can't complete it. Anderson, the offensive rebound, and Australia can reset. The shot clock very quickly from 14 to single numbers. Here's Anderson hustling and bustling against Fakona, drawing a foul on the Kiwi captain, and that's number 5. Fakona out of the game, and Anderson with free throws to come.
That's his 5th and final foul.
Oh, this is where New Zealand have to show a little bit of poise. They've done well. It's not about winning this game for them. 7 points of difference. Mika Fakona a bit angry, just no tech fouls. They need to be able to get up, get another good shot, because every point is critical.
Correct. This is just the half time of the whole series at the end of this game. And if you look down the other end, you'll see Andrew Bogut. We saw him just grab his back before he went off. So I suspected that he would be out there, which is a big concern because only a couple of days off. And if he can't play in the second game, that changes the whole dynamic.
A 2-hour training session yesterday, he hardly did anything. He was wincing in pain and grabbing his back in the warm-ups. He's obviously a long way from 100% fit, but David Anderson is now 6 of 6 from the free throw line. He has 15 points.
Look at this move too. He's decided to go small, takes Cam Bairstow out, brings in Adam Gibson for defensive purposes.
9-point lead for the Australians inside 60 seconds to play. Ruben Tarangi for Webster. Here's Lowe, quick release on the 3, can't complete it. Loose ball grabbed by Gibson. Mills off and running. Dellavedova on the other wing. Anderson joining in. Here's Anderson, baseline, good look, good finish.
Beautiful. Great pick and pop. Paddy Mills, beautiful little pocket pass to Dave Anderson.
The veteran, Dave Anderson, coming through when it counts the most.
40 seconds to play. And Australia out to an 11-point lead. The margin has never been bigger at any stage in the game. And Shane Hill, this was important.
Again, just a great read from Paddy Mills. He's experienced, he's played at NBA finals, he's won championships, he's done it all. And at a critical time to come down the court and transition. He didn't need to spray one up, he read it. Then Dave Anderson's been critical in this last quarter as well.
Shooters, and if they try, stay connected to 3-point shooters now. I don't want to give up a free ball this late in the game. Okay? Hey, if they're holding it up for the last shot, do you want to hit it? Sure. On the way back? Yeah. If they're holding the last shot, we come and hit it. Okay? We're good. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Well, it's been a tough night at the office, but down the stretch behind Paddy Mills, Boomers have been able to work their way to an 11-point lead. The margin's never been bigger. Dave Anderson, we've said how important he's been to the team. Now with 17 points, Anderson. Crucial free throws, 6 of 6 from the stripe as well. He has been most impressive.
Over Melbourne, make it loud. Defense.
Had 20 against Lithuania 2 weeks ago, Dave Anderson, in the 7-point loss. He has been a rock and playing here
with number 5, Paddy Mills.
in front of his home fans. Sure, he's enjoying being back in town. Plays in France at the moment.
New Zealand shooting is
started as a 5-year-old in the East Frankston under-8s.
Yeah, what a career he's had. We see Paddy really didn't need to make that foul. You know, just a mistake here when you're talking about a 2-game series to actually let him off the hook, and poor free throw miss there. And now Australia has to go back and execute as well. Every possession being critical that we keep talking about, even though the game's obviously in the bag for the Aussies.
Kenny hits the second of 2.
So the margin is 10. Timeout called by Australia with 38 seconds to play. 14-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. And Anderson with 17 joins Mills as Australia's leading scorer. Dave Anderson has had 8 of that 17 here in the last quarter out of the 20 that Australia has scored. He's come to the party big time here in turn 4.
Yeah, he certainly has. And as Drewy said before, he's made himself available the whole time. He's been crucial. But you'd think right now, Paulie Henare, he's got to run a play so they get a shot up quick. They need 2 possessions to Australia's 1 in this last 38 seconds. So obviously the play has to happen in the next 6 or 8 seconds or so to give themselves enough time.
Game 2 in Wellington, Tuesday night. We just joined us late. The Opals defeated New Zealand 61-41 by 20. They play game 2 on Monday night in New Zealand. And the Boomers on Tuesday night. And we hope our friends across the ditch watching this coverage are going to enjoy seeing what is a fantastic rivalry between these two teams. Australia have been the dominant force overall. They lead New Zealand 61-8. And in terms of this series, 22-3. And New Zealand continue to bridge that gap, getting closer all the time.
They keep improving, there's no doubt about it, the Kiwis.
Here's Gibson, inbounds for Dellavedova, wraparound pass, Mills, quick release, can't complete it. Abercrombie with the athletic rebound.
Well executed play by Australia.
Webster, he's patient here. Perhaps surprisingly, he's going to milk the clock down. Webster, confronted by Anderson, fires the three, can't convert. And now Australia can slow it down for the last play. Lead is 10. Dellavedova takes the hit from Kent, goes to work and gets the user-friendly roll over the buzzer to add another 2 to the Australians' tally, which will bring them to a 12-point lead. It's full-time here at Rod Laver Arena. Australia 71, New Zealand 59. The Boomers take a 1-0 lead in this two-game series.
Yeah, great effort. Way to execute, Australia. Turn up the defence in the last quarter. We went over it, only 3 points the margin at one stage in the last quarter, and the Kiwis had an opportunity at 3 from low to be able to tie the game up. So this result for Australia to be able to eke out a 12-point win is a very, very good situation to be able to fly out and go back to New Zealand.
18 points to 9 in the last 7 minutes from when Lowe had that shot to tie it away. Stick around, we'll have some interviews coming your way as well, but they closed it out well. There were some nervous signs there for Australia, but a 12-point win. They've still got plenty of work to do, so they're 12 in front at half-time, effectively.
Exactly, and you know, as we said, New Zealand, they're not scared of Australia. No, they've got respect, but they certainly aren't intimidated at all, and you know, they'll be after a great start. They have to come out, you know, really flowing and getting their confidence going.
Let's go to Billy Baxter, who's standing by with our coach, Andre Lamanis.
Andre, what's your evaluation of that one?
Yeah, it was what we expected in terms of it was going to be a war, it was going to be physical. We had to get in the trenches, and I thought we did a good job of just staying with it over the course of the game. To keep them to 59 points is obviously it's a good defensive effort for us, and but the reality is it's half-time right now. We've got a 12-point lead.
How do you feel going over there with a 12-point buffer?
Yeah, well, it's better than being 12 down, that's for sure. But no, it's one of those things that you know, we just keep playing from here. It's about process for us, and tonight I thought the defensive process was what held us in good stead.
Such a quick turnaround up to the next game, and we saw Andrew Bogut seems to have a little bit of back stiffness coming in and had it in that game as well. What are your concerns?
Yeah, we've had to manage injuries along the way, and the guys have been great, and people have been able to step up, and we've got a great medical staff, and we'll continue to do what we've done for the last 3 weeks.
You must have been particularly pleased with how close the game was to end up with that buffer at the end and the way your team finished.
Yeah, we obviously had a good little stretch there in the last 3 minutes, and I thought our ability just to stay with the process and wear them down over the course of 40 minutes, sort of right before halftime, we got a little bit as well, and now right in the late in the fourth quarter. I think our depth is something that holds us in good stead in this series.
Good luck to you over in New Zealand. Great to see you today. We'll be back at Rod Laver Arena with more after the break.
The folks that asked for the 3 Like I said before, it's the best crowd we've ever played in front of here in Australia. That's a personal shout out to all 15,000 of you. Hey, Paddy, in the end, a 12-point margin being a 2-game series, we obviously want to go and win the game in New Zealand, but if it's the case that they were to win the second match, it comes down to point aggregate. Are you happy with the 12-point win? Yeah, look, the boys spoke about it as a team. This is only half-time of a 2-game series. We've got a
a lot more work to do over in New Zealand, but you know, we'll take this and obviously watch film and work from there. But a good win tonight. We'll go back and work on a couple of things and get ready for New Zealand. But absolutely great opportunity to play here at Rod Lane in front of you guys. And like I said, it will be the best game we can have.
One last one before I let the great man go, Paddy. It was only a little bit over 12 months ago you were celebrating NBA championship with San Antonio Spurs. A few people happy about that. If we fast forward 12 months, you just put 1 foot, you're now